Is this going to be?
Timothy's muted his microphone.
It's 6:30 p.m. on a Monday evening, and as is our wont on You Live at that time, we like to talk to Lily Richards from Unity Books about, well, books.
Nice. You can just do it again and again and
I'll do it all night. Cool. What have we got this week?
We've got a book.
Yes!
Strangely.
What is
the
it?
Etymologicon. There you go. American.
It's beautiful red and gold.
Yeah, I'm not a giant fan of the cover. It's a bit kind of tacky.
Okay. Not a tacky subject, though.
No. So, you'll know, I love etymology. It's one of my favourite subjects.
Yeah?
Clearly.
Yeah, insects are awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those ologies as well. Like, it's, you know, everyone gets lost with the ologies.
Yeah, I get my ologies mixed up all the time.
But etymology is the ology to do with the origin of words.
Yes, so you go to the dictionary, like, where does the word punch come from? And the dictionary will tell you where it comes from. Was it Latin? Was it Romantic?
But it doesn't, what the dictionary doesn't do is it doesn't give you the story behind where that word comes from. So it might say it was Roman or Greek, which is usually what they say. But then the kind of the story of how that word came to be, because words don't just kind of arrive. There's obviously a situation that calls for that word to be invented, and each word is invented specifically for a situation. So the story behind the words is fascinating. And my father actually got him a dictionary, etymological. You can just tell how riveting my family is. I got my father an etymological dictionary once.
Some people get Top Gear, Best Of on DVD. I get etymology dictionaries. What up?
And it's giant, as you can imagine, because it's like the origin of every word, so it's even bigger than a normal dictionary. And that's great, but it's quite dry.
It'd be very dense.
Yeah.
What does this do?
The author of this is called Mark Forsyth, and he's not published anything before, but he is a blogger, as everyone is. And he had this blog called the Inky Fool. So part of what he does is he's a ghostwriter, a journalist, and an editor. And during the course of this work, he comes across all of these fascinating little tidbits and pieces of miscellany about the origin of words.
Writing Mick Jagger's biography, and so he's going to find out some interesting things about certain words.
Yeah, definitely. And so he'd just been collecting and collating these and putting them on the Inky blog. But it got quite a few hits, and as often happens now with blogs, it's like a starting point for a book.
Yep.
So he put together this book. And what it is it's kind of like winding narrative of etymology, so it doesn't have any kind of order in which you could go into it and actively find. No. But it's a conversation that you're having, a one-sided conversation that you're experiencing, really.
What are some of the most interesting stories of the words that we take for granted?
Well, it's hard to say. Avocados is actually the Aztec word for balls.
Really?
Testicles.
Oh, well, there you go. That's one you can use almost every day as well in the kitchen. Hey, Mum, cooking up some avocados. Did you know Aztecs?
Because that's what they thought it looked like, clearly. You can see where they came from. But then it got like mismanaged along the way, and the Spanish kind of changed the word, and then the British changed the word slightly because they heard it wrongly. Yeah. So it ended up as being avocados. I cannot pronounce the original Aztec word, but it's similar to that.
So, but the gist of the story is that the Aztecs find these fruits, and they're like, "Hey, Aztec chief,
what do we?"
Yeah, I know what this looks like. How do we describe them? Avocado, or whatever it is. Yeah.
Testicles.
Awesome, testicles.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Well, there's another thing in here as well, which I found amazing, which is Milton meanders, it's calling, and this is actually where the title of the book comes from. So Milton, who wrote the epic poem, oh my God, it's just sort of totally gone out of my head. The Paradise Lost, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Paradise Lost. So he was pretty much the only British person to write a big epic poem. It was the faculty of different cultures usually. Yep. But he was sort of a pedant and a creative writer. And in his working poetic life, he came across a whole lot of words that should be there but weren't. So Milton came up with truckloads of words, which is
invented words.
Yeah, which is like a neologism, right? When you come up with your own word.
Okay.
So, but check this out, Milton. Thank you. Responsible for, amongst others, unconvincing, satanic, impassive, obtrusive, cooking, lovelorn, sectarian, wording, awestruck, stunning, terrific. There's
no connection between those words as well. He didn't hold back. He wasn't
Well, he's a poet, right? So he would have come across a lot of things that he needed to explain and express, and he just took the bull by the horns and made them up.
How jealous do you think Dr. Zeus is?
Yeah.
None of his stuck, did they?
No.
I'm going to check out a little bit of Nero reaching out. We'll be back soon for part 2 of Lost in the Land of Lily.
Part 2.
Nero there with Reaching Out, to join back on the couch by Lily Richards from Unity Books, who is reviewing the, because I like to hold this up as well, Etymologicon?
Etymologicon.
Etymologicon.
Another word by Milton, which we
Potato,
just
tomato.
Yeah.
Now, you've got some more stories.
Yeah,
It's discussing the nature of words and how words come to be.
But the thing about this book, which is so great, is the process by which she explains them. So you you get taken through the story, and you can imagine that some of it's quite linear, but often it's kind of strange, and it takes you in strange places.
Sure.
And you'll be starting with one point, and you'll just kind of meander. So it is this meandering conversation. But I thought I'd give you an example. So can you marry him?
Sure.
So that's the name of the National
Is that?
Socialist Party, which is Hitler's.
So
Hitler's little organisation.
Is that an Austrian or German? Sort of German. National Socialist Fish?
This was the full name, but his detractors picked out Nazi from that, which is actually like a horrible word in German and meant a slang, a little bit like hick means in Britain, which is a contraction of the word Richard, because that was a common name for the unintelligent farmers.
Wow. And that's all through German. Sorry, like German media being like, Hitler, chill out. We're going to call you Nazi to try and drum up a little bit of anti-Hitler.
Yeah, well, no,
sentiments.
the Nazi, the people who weren't so on board with Hitler, in hindsight, great people.
Yeah.
They called him a Nazi, which was just an insult at the time. And when he got into power, he kind of shunned those people and got them out of the country.
Yeah.
And so they would go and tell the foreign media about the Nazis, and just that was how they referred to them. So everyone just picked that up and thought, oh, well, that's clearly how they refer to themselves.
Yeah.
Not the case. Hitler did not like the use of that term at all.
No kidding, but it stuck.
It stuck.
So he never said, we are the Nazi Party. He said, we are the National Socialist Party.
Yeah. I think he tried to take it on board once he realised that it was sort of gone viral. A term that didn't exist then. He was, oh, we'll try and make this my own.
He also tried to bring in the Charlie Chaplin moustache. Quite a lot of people were that on board with it.
Yeah, and genocide. He did better with genocide.
Yeah, he was a lot better with genocide.
Yeah. This is another one which I quite like. So, morphine.
Yes.
A little bit too Moorish, they found.
No!
As a drug. That's just me writing Moorish.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. And so they used it to treat coughs, which gets us like my weird otter person. It's my great drawing.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically your choice was between coughing, or if you took the morphine, you'd generally die from addiction.
Okay.
So in...
science.
1898. I can't say that word anyway. I don't even know which way to go.
Diacetylmorphine.
Bayer is the company, the German pharmaceutical company, and they created this version of morphine that was supposed to be less Moorish.
Diacetylmorphine.
Yes, but that wasn't a very catchy title.
It's not that
catchy. So they asked people who took it how they felt, and they said they felt like a hero when they took that, and that's how you get the name Hero.
Heroin, the A-class restricted terrible drug.
Turns out that sold quite well, heroin.
Again, like genocide, he was pretty good at it.
It really took off.
So the original morphine, or the second morphine, is what heroin is today?
Yes.
Whoa, they were hardcore with their prescription drugs back then.
And the irony being that heroin was devised to help people get off opiates. Because opiates were terribly destructive.
Oh, pharmacists.
Yeah,
how we laugh
little
now.
Stories like that.
That sounds very, very interesting. Okay, so if you're into weird little stories and pointless trivia, well, not that pointless.
It's not pointless. I'll use that in a dinner party, guys.
Totally. The Etymologicon, there you go. Go out and pick it up from Unity Books in Auckland or Wellington, and also go online, and also on Facebook page, on the Facebooks.
Find us from all angles.
They're across it. Thank you very much for coming in, Lily. Really
Pleasure.
Appreciate your time, as always. Right now, we're going to go to a little bit of Tommy Ill, Wellington-based rapper duo. No, there's three of them, isn't there? Three beat makers, rappers, and just total sweet dudes making a track called Living Dead.